1 p.m., August 9th, 2023, and the meeting of the Urban Design Commission will now come to order. May we please have a roll call?
Edith McKee.
Here.
Allison Gordy.
Here.
Julia Foland.
Here.
Mark Cox. Alexandra Nanello.
Here.
Trevor Strait.
Here.
Monica Sullivan and Ryan Lucas are excused. You have a quorum. Thank you.
Thank you. The Wednesday, July 12th meeting minutes will be moved to the next agenda for approval because we do not have a quorum. Next, I will move on to the special order of business. Are there any disclosures?
Yes.
Commissioner Strait, please.
Yes. I will be abstaining from voting on the consent agenda since I was not seated at that time.
Thank you. Next, we're moving on to the consent agenda, which will also be moved to the next meeting for approval, as we do not have a quorum this evening. So we are moving right along and moving on to public hearings. I'll read the public process. Pulled my agenda apart, now I can't find it. Thank you, sorry. The Urban Design Commission meets the second and fourth Wednesday of each month except holidays as regular meetings. If the Urban Design Commission fails to complete its agenda for its regular meetings, the Commission carries over the remainder of the agenda to the following meeting date. The procedure by which the public may speak to the Urban Design Commission at its meeting is: 1, after the staff presentation is completed on public hearing items, the chair will ask for public testimony on the issue. 2, persons who wish to testify will follow the time limits established in the Urban Design Commission Rules of Procedure. Petitioners, including all of his, her, their representatives, have 10 minutes. Rebuttal by the petitioner may be allowed when time has been reserved. Representatives of groups, community councils, PTAs, etc. have 5 minutes, and individuals have 3 minutes. 3, when your testimony is complete, you may be asked questions by the Commission. You may only testify once on any issue unless questioned by the Commission. 4, any party of interest wishing to appeal shall first file with the Planning Director within 7 days of the Commission's decision made on the record a written notice of intent to appeal in accordance with AMC 21.03.050A.4a. Commission recommendations to the Anchorage Assembly are not appealable. Following approval of the written findings of fact and decision, any party of interest may, within 20 days, file an appeal by filing a notice of appeal and paying the appeal fee and deposit in accordance with Section 21.03.050. The notice of appeal must be filed with the Planning Director on a form prescribed by the municipality. If the applicant is not the applicant's notice of appeal shall include proof of service on the applicant. This evening, we happen to have a short board, and a yea vote of 5 will be required for a motion to pass. I will read the petitioner's options in this case. When there is a short 5-member board or commission and a postponement is offered to and agreed to by the petitioner, they will be moved to the next regular agenda. Per AMCR 21.13.350. This should occur within 30 days, which does not require re-noticing the case, new public hearing notices, advertising. If the petitioner is willing to postpone but unable to attend the next available meeting date within 30 days, the petitioner has a one-time only option to choose the next date certain he, she, they can attend at no extra fee. When a postponement is requested by the petitioner, there is a rescheduling fee per AMCR 21.20.007.a, and a new public hearing date shall be determined by the planning department. This will put their case in the next available cutoff date queue as if they were submitting their case for the first time. Would the petitioner please come forward, state your name, and state if you wish to go forward? Oh, I'm sorry, you're, yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There we go. All right. I'm Dr. Matthew Baxter, the director at Anchorage Lutheran School, and I'd like to move forward.
Okay. Thank you. I'm new in this role. Things are a little bit different, so I appreciate your patience. Thank you. Okay. With respect to case 2022-0063, the petitioner is the Lutheran School Association of Anchorage, Incorporated. They are requesting review of the major site plan for the Anchor Lutheran School, Beautiful Savior Lutheran Church. May we have staff's presentation?
Yes, thank you, Chair McKee. I'll provide a brief synopsis of the staff report. This is a major site plan review for the Luther Center, consisting of Anchorage Lutheran School and Beautiful Savior Church, which are an educational facility and religious assembly uses within the R2M district. The proposed development will add a second story for additional classrooms and office space and expand the gymnasium. Public hearing notices were mailed out in accordance with the procedures of Title 21. No reviewing agencies objected to the site plan, and no comments were received from the public or from the Taku-Campbell Community Council. There are 4 approval criteria in Title 21 that must all be met for the Urban Design Commission to approve of a site plan. The department finds the first criteria to be met. The site plan is consistent with prior approved plans and approvals, including underlying Plat 2023-0016 and the conditional use that was approved in 1984 for the church, private school, and preschool. The second criteria is also met. The site plan complies with all applicable development and design standards, including the intent of the mixed residential or R2M zoning district, dimensional standards, and use-specific standards for schools. Criteria 3 is met as the site plan addresses adverse impacts to the maximum extent feasible, and the improvements will enhance the existing uses of the site. Criteria 4 is met because the site plan is consistent with the comprehensive plan, including the 2040 land use plan. Therefore, the department recommends approval of the site plan subject to conditions of approval 1 through 4. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions of staff? Hearing none, will the petitioner please come forward? Please state and spell your name for the record. You will have 10 minutes to present. Would you like to reserve any of your time for rebuttal?
Yes, I'd like to reserve some time for rebuttal. My name is Matthew Baxter, MATTHEWBAXTER.
Thank you. How many minutes would you like to reserve?
9.
9. Done.
All right, well, thank you for taking this case under consideration. Our school would like to expand into high school, also add a second story and a gymnasium. The document there is for your review and presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions of the petitioner? I have a question.
Yes.
On page 23 of our packet, it says that the stormwater was evaluated in 2012. Since that time, requirements have significantly changed to include considerations of climate change. Has that been reevaluated?
So you're asking, have we had a stormwater assessment?
It's more of a capacity concern. It was the on-site storm drain system meets the requirements for treatment and detention. A complete narrative of stormwater management at Anchorage Lutheran School, Beautiful Savior Lutheran Church, can be found in the site Stormwater Pollution Prevention Plan 2012. Stormwater management requirements are met.
We have not done an assessment since that time.
But at the time that assessment was done, it was determined that the system had some room in its capacity, or?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. Hi, please state and spell your name.
Hello, my name is Paul Burrell, Paul, P-A-U-L, Burrell, B-A-R-I-L, and I'm an architect with Envision Architecture, and we're working with Anchor Lutheran, and I could answer your question. So we're currently working on construction drawings for the second floor addition, and as part of that work, we are analyzing the stormwater capacity for that roof, the new roof that we're adding on top of the second floor, and so we'll be providing the design that's necessary to increase, if necessary, any of the stormwater requirements to meet current Title 21.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Folland?
Thank you. I have a question. On page 59, it's talking about the FEMA floodplain, and there's a bunch of little notes on page 33 that I can't actually read. Can somebody tell me where that's located on the drawings? So on page 59 it says, and that's from 2022, portions of the subdivisions are situated within the flood hazard zone. And I just can't find that on the drawings. On page 33, there's some little handwritten notes that I can't read. Or do any of the petitioners know which page that map would be on?
I don't think the floodplain is included in this packet, but what I do know is that our building expansion wouldn't be building on the floodplain at all. The floodplain exists from that slope down to the Campbell Creek area, and we're not planning on building down there.
Commissioner Folland, there is a note, I'm not sure if this answers your question exactly, on page 47, AMC 21.13.060, characteristics of use, developments are conforming. The first paragraph about halfway down discusses some of that. I'm not sure if it's exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I can see where the creek is, and I can see where the buildings are. I just wanted to see it on a map.
Yeah.
And I can provide a point of information. I guess in full disclosure, I'm covering this case for my colleague Sean O'Dell, but he discussed with me how there was a change to the lot line, so they amended the plat. So I don't know if maybe that comment ended up being incorporated into the plat, which on page 26 of the packet, there is, yeah, so it looks like on page 26 of the packet, so there's a new plat for this 2023-16, which is why this site plan took a bit, because they had to amend their lot lines first. But there is a note, it's plat note 5, that does incorporate that. So it says portions of the subdivision are situated within the flood hazard district, et cetera. So I believe that's how that comment was addressed, was actually in the platting action that had to be done on this property before the site plan could be reviewed by the commission.
Thank you. I can't read that page.
Yeah, it is very small.
Commissioner Straight?
Yes, so on page 49 of the packet from the Taku Campbell Community Council meeting, there were a couple public comments regarding traffic. I don't know if either of the petitioners could speak to kind of the plan moving forward with perhaps changing the driveway onto Arctic to a one-way only, and kind of what the threshold for that might be.
Yeah, so currently the site has two accesses, one to 81st and the other one to Arctic. The one on Arctic is not in use, but it can be in use. So that is, the plan is during drop-off and pickup time during the school time, that gate would be open, but it would be closed during the school day for student safety reasons. So that's the plan for traffic mitigation. It would also be used for any special events that also cause any traffic congestion.
Any other questions? Commissioner Folland?
Yeah, just a quick question. I thought I read somewhere here that the community council didn't have a comment. They didn't submit anything about this. Is that true?
From my understanding, no, they did not submit a comment.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, and I can provide a point of information as well, because the comments included in the packet, I wonder if maybe, I don't know, it does say major site plan review. I'm not certain because that was from 2022. Sorry, I thought I had a point of information to explain it, but it does say that it's for the major site plan review, but the comment was from 2022. So I'm not sure, I guess, the answer to that without looking a little more.
Are there any more questions from the commission? We will now open the hearing to public testimony. Is there anyone wishing to testify? No one has come forward. Would the petitioner like to use their remaining time for rebuttal? And the petitioner has indicated no by nod of the head. Thank you. Are there any more questions from the commission for the petitioner or for staff?
And I can actually provide further clarification on the community council question. So we did not receive any comments from the community council for this case. I think that was part of the application packet. The comments that the planning department received from the case were none from the Taku Campbell Council. We did notify them as required by code. I flipped to the comments we received from traffic engineering, and they did say that they thought the site provides adequate on-site parking for the proposed uses on site. So anyway, that's why that comment is in the application packet, but we didn't actually get any additional comments from the community council for the case.
Thank you for clarification.
Yeah, I can speak to that as well. So the meeting happened, in 2022. I had met with them. I had to write this up. That was some of their concerns that they addressed to me. So maybe labeling it public comment wasn't appropriate. But that's what I put in the application packet because I felt like it was relevant.
Thank you. Commissioner Gordy?
Sorry, I do have one question to sneak in here before we close the hearing. This is actually a question, I think, for staff. You referred to that traffic engineering comment, and I did notice the part where it discussed the site having some non-conforming rights for the pedestrian facilities. I presume that that's being addressed by number 4, that condition of approval. Is that correct?
Through the chair, yes, Commissioner Gordy, that's correct. And in fact, I brought that piece of code and also the original nonconformity determination. So yes, that's what that criteria for is. So there are some non-conforming rights that we can say that they meet code. That reference is to a section of Chapter 13 where it says if you have a development project that is 10% or more of the assessed value of the structure, then you have to move the site in the direction of conformity. So even though they still have those non-conforming rights, they have to spend 10%, well, I shouldn't say they have to, they may have to spend 10% of the total project cost to do something that brings the development further towards what the requirements are. So maybe they would do something with the landscaping or pedestrian facilities to move it slightly more in the direction of conformity, but they do not lose their non-conforming rights, if that makes sense. So that's what that approval criteria for. So I feel that covers the comment from traffic engineering.
Perfect. Thank you for the clarity.
Are there any other questions from the commission for the petitioner or for staff? Hearing none, the public hearing is now closed. The matter now rests with the body. May we have a motion to approve case 2022-0063? It's been moved by Commissioner Gordy. Mover, would you please state your motion?
Yes. I move in case 2022-0063 to approve the site plan allowing an educational facility, high school, second-story addition for classrooms, and addition of a gymnasium, subject to conditions 1 through 4, shown on page 8 of the staff report.
Thank you. It's been seconded by Commissioner Foland. Commissioner Gordy, would you please speak to your motion?
Yes, I intend to support the motion. In reading the staff report, I find that the project meets all the criteria for the approval of a major site plan. I can go through the findings. So one, the site plan is consistent with any previously approved subdivision plat, plan development, master plan, or any other precedent plan or land use approval. The standard is met and meets the requirements of the R2M district. The site plan complies with all applicable development and design standards set forth in this title, including the provisions in Chapter 2104 zoning districts, Chapter 2105 use regulations, Chapter 2106 dimensional standards and measurements, and Chapter 2107 development and design standards. I'm not going to walk through each one of those standards, as I think they're pretty clearly outlined in the staff packet. And the standard is definitely met. Item 3, the site plan addresses any significant adverse impacts that can reasonably be anticipated to result from the use. This standard is also met. The improvements will enhance the center's service to the community and increases enrollment capacity. I don't see really any adverse impacts from that. The development, number 4, the development proposed in the site plan is consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the comprehensive plan. That standard is also met. I think the department recommendations as far as the steps that need to be taken to move this project forward are reasonable and kind of cover any holes in that. And those are my findings.
Thank you. Commissioner Folland, would you like to speak to your second?
Nope, I think she got it, and I think it's, you guys have done a good job so far that there's nobody here against it, so I think that's commendable.
Thank you. Are there any other commissioners wishing to speak to the motion or add findings? If there is no further discussion, may we have a vote on case number 2022-0063?
Ms. Nanello?
Yay? Is that?
Thank you.
Yes? Yes.
Thank you. Case 2022-0063 passed with a vote of 5 in favor and 0 against and 0 abstaining. Yeah. Thank you. Next, we'll be moving on to commissioners' comments, and we would like to welcome Commissioner Straight to the board. We thank you for your service, and we look forward to having you here. Do you have anything you would like to say?
Thank you very much for welcoming me, and I look forward to working with all of you, and I'm excited to learn a lot and hopefully contribute some. So, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Could I please get a motion to adjourn? Moved by Commissioner Gordy, seconded by Commissioner Folland. Are there any objections? Hearing none, the meeting is adjourned at 7 p.m.